Hey everyone, this is Franklin from Savita Engineering College. I am pursuing BTech AML and currently I'm doing my first year. So today we are diving into a crucial concept of QR decomposition using a gram-schmidt method. What is the QR decomposition method? It is a matrix using techniques that factorizes a given A matrix into two matrices, an orthogonal matrix Q and upper triangle matrix R, such that A is equals to QR. The function of the QR decomposition first initializes the necessary matrix Q, which is stored the orthonormal basis vector, and U is an auxiliary matrix that helps construct the orthonormal basis. It starts by setting the first column of U to match the first column of A, then normalizes it forms the first column of Q. The process continues and iteratively for each column in A using an orthogonal projection to remove any component that overlaps with already computed basics vector. This ensures the resulting in column of Q are multiply mutually orthogonal. Once an orthogonal basis of Q is obtained, the program computes the upper triangular matrix R, where each entry Ri, j stores a dot product between the column of A and Q. Finally, the function prints the both Q and R matrices and providing the result of decomposition. However, a small mistake in the code that variably inside our calculation should be A colon J, since A is undefined this function scope. This typo would cause an error if no corrected. Let So we saw about QR decomposition functions. Now we are going to see a code in Python programming and accompanying how the decomposition methods that happens using a gram-schmidt method. So first of all, in case sensitivity in variable names, you are using a inside the function but trying to access is outside of the function should always a. So dimensional mismatch risk. You assume n is equal to n, which are not always be the case. You should modify the loop limit accordingly. The numerical stability. This is an inherent limitation of a classical Gram-Schmidt process. For better stability, the modifying the Gram-Schmidt or household transformation for preferred. So, the important numpy. So imports a numpy or gives allies an np which used for the matrix and the numerical operation. The function definition. So the function definition called QR decomposition takes the matrix as an input. Get a shape of the dimension matrix A. So n is equals to number of rows, m is equals to number of columns. Initializing q1 u. So Q will be eventually stores the orthonormal vector, the column of a Q matrix, and U for storing an intermediate vector during the Gram-Schmidt process, initializing the first column. Take a first column of A and store it in U colon comma 0 and normalize the vector to create the first orthonormal vector in Q. Loop through the remaining columns. Starts a loop from I is equals to 1 to I minus n minus 1. To process each in a subsequent column, build a orthogonal vector. So starts with ith to the column of A and subtract from U colon I its projection onto each previous Q colon comma J. So the computes do not dot product, but the scales the vector to the subtract to the precision. Normalize the vector to get Q. The normalizing the orthogonal vector U to make the unit length and stores in Q. So initializing the matrix as zeroth to the matrix of the same shape A. Compute the matrix value, fill the R matrix, and R is the dot product to the jth column of the A and ith on the column of the Q. This captures how much A lies on the direction of Q, comma I. So end print the results, display the Q and R matrix. The user input and the function calls takes the input from the user like anything which you want to give and converts into numpy array a and calls the deq or decomposition and put the variable in it and to perform the decomposition and print the result. So however, the decomposed matrix of a into q and the orthogonal and r is an upper triangle such that the qr decomposition method is a linear algebra, which is a matrix of A is decomposed into product of the two matrices. So that this why the Python program accompanying the QR decomposition method. So this is how the Python accompanying a QR decomposition using gram schmidt method. So I hope you understand the basics of these line by line codes, and QR decomposition method is useful in every field. Thank you.